So I have dedicated videos on both primers and setting sprays, I think both within the last year, explaining how I use the different products, how I layer them to make my makeup last longer, how I use them to smooth my skin out. But I was with a girlfriend and she just wanted a really quick explanation on the differences between the two, why I choose to use the different products. And so I thought I would do another video just for those that are just beginning with setting sprays and primers, and just again a quick little explanation of the differences. Hey everyone, this is Lisa. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Lisa Monique Beauty, where we cover all things beauty and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. So like I said, today's video I'm just going to have a summary on the differences between a primer and a setting spray, and also the differences within each category. So in a quick, simple one-sentence summary, a primer preps your skin for makeup and a setting spray seals in your makeup or seals on your makeup. So when do you need to use them? I typically just moisturize my skin as my primer. I have normal to leaning dry skin, even though I do have some hyperpigmentation and melasma. Day to day, I'm not trying to do anything really special with my makeup. I'm just putting it on to run an errand, meet a friend for lunch, or just do something quick. So a moisturizing primer is all that I need, and that just preps my skin to get ready for my foundation. It helps your foundation adhere better, it helps it absorb and actually blend in with your skin better, which in turn will also help it stay on longer when it is applied correctly and isn't just sitting on your face and potentially moving into your fine lines and wrinkles or getting patchy on your face. So I've talked about primers a million times. My favorite is the Embryolisse. You can buy this at Derm Store. I'll have a link to everything down in the description box below. So that is my favorite. I also love the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. And let's see if I have a drugstore moisturizing primer. I don't. Oh, e.l.f. Holy Hydration. It's in my bathroom. Yeah, sometimes I'll just put my normal face primer or face moisturizer on right before I put on my makeup. Now, I don't use sunscreen as my primer because that does provide a little bit of a barrier, and I usually put sunscreen on a little bit earlier in my skincare routine. So usually this is maybe 30 minutes after my sunscreen is applied, and so I am applying moisturizer on top of my sunscreen if I am going to go outside and be exposed to the sun. Now, if you have oily or combination skin, you might need your primer to create a layer between the oils of your skin or the oils in your T-zone and the rest of your face. In that case, you might want to apply two different primers. If you're drier on the edge, you might want to put a moisturizer on the edge and then just apply an oil absorbing primer in your T-zone. Benefit has the Professional primer, which is very blocking, I feel. Smashbox also has the Photo Finish primers. These are all really good at just absorbing that extra oil and putting just a little bit of layer or a barrier between the oils on your face and your makeup. If you have drier skin, you definitely need the moisturizer right before you put on your makeup. And I'm talking, give it 1 or 2 minutes just to sink down. So your skin is really freshly moisturized when you apply your foundation on top of that. Then it continues to absorb into your skin, and it really helps everything blend and adhere to your skin better. Next, if you have texture skin or larger pores, things like that that you're trying to fill in, maybe some acne scars, then you're going to want to lean more towards maybe a putty primer, again just applying in those areas. The most popular putty primer out there, I believe, is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is a really nice little putty. You just apply it to those areas. I kind of do like a little rubbing in motion and then also a tapping motion to get it to really fill in those pores. Now, if you have a lot of deep lines and wrinkles, you can apply something like a putty primer or a blurring primer on those areas. And L'Oreal has a Magic Perfecting Base, which is it's really a putty, almost like Play-Doh consistency primer. And that can help smooth out those fine lines and wrinkles. Again, just kind of patting it on. I tend to use something like this on top of my foundation so that it will I don't know, kind of blur that whole appearance as opposed to underneath, and then I can keep retouching during the day if necessary. But those are some options if you have larger pores or texture that you're trying to fill in. Now just note, if you have really deep lines and wrinkles, nothing is going to really fill them in. I mean, as you move your face and have different expressions, you know, that area is going to straighten out and then, you know, recrease. And so you don't want something that has dried down and completely filled that area, and then as you are talking and moving your face, then it ends up looking even worse. So these will help with the blurring of the fine lines and wrinkles, but they're not going to eliminate them altogether. Now, if you really need your makeup to last longer, you can use a gripping primer. I also love e.l.f. I think e.l.f. has great primers. I love their Power Grip Primer. The gripping primers tend to make your skin a little bit tackier, and I think it helps hold your foundation on even more. A lot of times I'll use my gripping primers like with my cream foundations that move around my face a little bit more. You do have to be careful because, again, it makes it a little tackier, and I don't want my face to feel too tacky with both a cream on top of it, but you just need to play around with your skin types and see how you like that. Now, all skin types can benefit from a blurring primer. A lot of times they'll have, this is the YSL, they have these little luminous bubbles through it, so it helps the light reflect off your skin, and I think that's really beautiful also. Today I'm wearing the NYX Marshmallow Primer. This one is also, I think, a blurring or smoothing primer. It does help even out your skin tones just a little bit, so you can use a lighter foundation. If you need more of that initial skin smoothing, or I take that back, if you need more of that skin discoloration smoothing before you apply like a lighter foundation, then I will use one that has even a little more pigment. I love the Charlotte Tilbury Healthy Glow. This is a little pricey. It's a moisturizer, tinted moisturizer, but it does even out the skin tone before you put on your foundation. And even I have some tinted sunscreens, my Dermatology tinted sunscreen moisturizers, that also kind of evens out my discoloration a little bit more, so I can use a lighter foundation. I can even use a tinted moisturizer, something which I normally can't wear when I layer it on top of the Healthy Glow. So those are just some examples of primers. In general, I will tell my friends, if you really want to use a specific primer, get something very basic that covers all your bases except for oily skin, like the Marshmallow Primer. It is a nice moisturizing primer. Or just use your daily moisturizer like my e.l.f. Holy Hydration or my Embryolisse also is a great base primer. So those are my basic primers. It is prepping my skin. My skin is healthy. If I'm looking for a little glowier look, I will use something that has just that little bit of glow. Love the way it looks underneath my foundation, which then makes my foundation go on better. Next is the finishing and setting spray. So a setting spray helps your makeup last longer. It is the last step that I will use after I've powdered my face, applied all of my makeup, and I will usually use that to either bring back a natural finish. So if after I've powdered my face, if it's looking a little matte and I like a more natural finish on my face, I will use a setting spray to kind of bring back that natural finish. If I'm using a cream foundation, I find using a setting spray is a must because cream foundations tend to move a little bit more. So they tend to move into those fine lines and wrinkles throughout the day because they sit on top of the skin a little bit more. Now, having said that, I love my cream foundations, but I will use a setting spray always, always, always to just help them from moving around. Also, I tend to touch my face a lot. Cream foundations don't dry down like some of my other foundations. So again, I feel like I am moving them more, so I definitely want to set them. So what I normally do is I usually will use them twice. Once after I apply my foundation and my concealer, I will spritz a setting spray on my sponge and then I will tap it on. concentrating on the areas where my foundation fades the fastest, which are on my cheeks and across my nose, and then even on my chin. And my chin is because I touch my face way too much. But I will apply it in this area because that's where I notice my foundation fading fastest. I usually use really cheap setting sprays. I have the trial size of the NYX setting spray. I have trial size of a L'Oreal Infallible. This one is their Pro set spray and set, and that's what I use today. It's not the one normally I use as a setting spray. I can use this one as a finishing spray more. This one has a finer mist, and those little travel sizes have a really strong spray. I mean, if I sprayed it directly on my face, I feel like I'm hitting it with water. So those are really good to use up and with more of a matte finish on a sponge, and then just kind of tap on and let that dry, and then I continue on with the rest of my makeup. And even after I apply my blush and my bronzer, if I'm trying to blend it in and I use that same sponge and it's still slightly damp, it's still putting another layer of that setting spray over my bronzer and blush, also helping it last longer. Again, if you have oily or combination skin, you really want to use a matte setting spray and concentrate over that T-zone or that oily area and give you an extra boost or an extra layer of protection against the oils on your face. Now, once I have all of my makeup and powder applied, a lot of times that powder can change the finish. Then I will use a fine mist setting spray overall to just hold everything in place. A couple of them that I like. One, I do like the L'Oreal Infallible. It has a nice fine mist. I do like the e.l.f. Stay All Day. This is kind of my long wearing setting spray. But day to day, the one that I purchased, this one's almost empty, that I purchased time and time again, is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I love this setting spray. It's a very, very fine mist. It's what I'm wearing today. It is a very natural finish. And I also love the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Both of these have a really nice overall finish. Again, it's more of a natural finish. It's not flat. It has just a little bit of glow if the light hits it. And that's what I like when I am using a finishing spray. But all of them will help my makeup last longer. So, in summary, if I am just going to lunch something quick, I might just moisturize my skin as my primer, apply my makeup. If it is a cream foundation, I will still do a quick little spritz, but that's all I need to do for day to day. If I am going out and about and then maybe going to dinner, or I want my makeup to last into the night, or I know I'm not going to have time to reapply my makeup going into the night and I'm just going to be lightly touching up, then I'm going to take a little more care when I'm applying it, and I'm going to use a primer, maybe a gripping primer, and then I will layer my foundation with my setting spray and then finish with the setting spray or finishing spray on top. I also want to add the products I use will also change depending how long I want my foundation to last. My cream foundation I never really use if I want all day wear. I mean, you can get it to last all day, but typically that is my quick running out the door foundations. I will revert back to my tried and true standard, the Estee Lauder Double Wear, if I want really all day wear. L'Oreal Infallible, I think it's one of their continuous. It's the liquid foundation. I think also lasts all day. Maybelline Superstay also lasts all day. So I will revert back to a longer lasting, or what I consider a longer lasting foundation for all day wear, in addition to all of these other products. I hope it might help you decide whether you need a separate primer or setting spray based on what you like to do day to day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time.